Welcome to our global community, to our opening plenary of Think Tank 2022 titled Toward Peaceful Unification of the Korean Peninsula. Just to let all you who are French speakers and Spanish speakers and Portuguese speakers, this session will be translated in your language. This forum aim is to explore ways to mitigate the North and South divide and current hostility on the Korean Peninsula, and to start off on this opening plenary opening, we will invite our dear brother, Dr. Michael Jenkins, who is currently the International President of the UPS station here in the United States, and the chairman of the Washington Times Foundation, and have conducted several fact-finding tours on finding ways for the reunification of North and South Korea. Let us welcome Dr. Michael Jenkins.
Thank you, Reverend Oliver. We want to thank all of our audience throughout the world. We are now conducting the Think Tank 2022. This is a project of the Universal Peace Federation and is also cooperating with the Rallies of Hope and also the International Leadership Conference. It was founded by Dr. Hak Jahan Moon and is a movement of experts that are coming together to find ways to open up the doors for peace in Northeast Asia, particularly on the Korean Peninsula. You will see throughout this program for the next 3 days experts from every field, from the field of being heads of state, also members of parliament, business, media, religious leaders, and people who are experts in the culture and arts and bringing peace and understanding. We believe that through faith and also through respect for our fellow man, we can really bring peace. We need dialogue and understanding to do that, and that's why the experts you will be seeing in our panels are really engaged on bringing peace in the Korean Peninsula. We are very honored to welcome you here, and we're very excited about our program. I want to thank you for joining us. Please enjoy this effort for peace.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins, for your opening remarks. Our next opening remarks will be given, and it is my honor to introduce Dr. Charles Young. Dr. Young is an international expert on the issues of peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula as a special assistant for 20 years to Reverend and Dr. Sum Young Moon, and for 10 years as the Family Federation for World Peace Unification Regional Director. He previously serves as a chairman of the UPF International, as well as a chairman of the Washington Times Foundation. Currently, Dr. Young is a special emissary for Mother Hak Jahan Moon for Latin America, working as chairman of the UPS Central America and Korea. Let's warmly welcome Dr. Dr. Charles Young.
Thank you, Reverend Oliver, for your generous introduction. Your Excellencies, Ambassadors for Peace, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, buenos dias, greetings from Korea. Thank you for joining the Think Tank 2022 Global Forum toward the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula, despite your busy schedules. I would especially like to express my sincere gratitude to the presenters and the panelists for participating in this session during the next 3 days. Korea had been one nation for 1,300 years since the unified Silla dynasty in 676 AD. But at the end of the World War II in 1945, the Korean Peninsula was divided into North and South under the influence of the United States and the Soviet Union. In August 1948, a democratic government was established in South Korea. And 1 month later, North Korea was established as a socialist system. 2 years later, on June 25th, 1950, the Korean War broke out and continued for 3 years and 1 month until the ceasefire was declared 1953. 63 countries provided military, material, and medical support to both sides. At that time, there were only 93 member nations in the United Nations. So, in a sense, the Korean War was like another world war. According to the resolution of the UN Security Council, 16 countries led by US sent troops to support South Korea. The Soviet Union and China supported North Korea. The Korean War was an ideological war between the democratic and the communist camps. During the 3-year war, 1.8 million US troops participated. 37,000 were killed and 92,000 were injured. It was never the forgotten war. The war completely devastated the two Koreas. South Korea has continued to develop its economy and democracy under the umbrella of the Korea-US Mutual Defense Treaty, signed in 1953, and is now one of the world's top 10 economies. Meanwhile, in North Korea, more than 1 million people starved to death between 1995 and 1998. And now these days, they are facing a similar situation because of the unbalanced budget centered on military expenses. And they are spending 24% of the GDP. And North Korea is the world's #1 country in terms of military expenditure compared to GDP. And this in addition to the COVID-19 pandemic. Nevertheless, North Korea has conducted 7 missile tests since January 5th of this year. It has been 4 years since 2018 when US President Trump met the Chairman Kim Jong-un in Singapore and committed to work toward complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. However, nuclear weapons and ICBMs continue to be developed in the North. The UPF co-founders, Dr. and Mrs. Sun Myung-moon, were both born in what is now North Korea. They came to South Korea as refugees and started a peace movement from the beginning of their ministry. They visited North Korea and met Kim Il-sung in 1991. Since that time, they have been continuously carrying out a peaceful reunification movement globally. About 10 million families are separated between North and South because of the Korean War. Most of the first generations are in their 80s or older. Many of them are dying. This is a serious human rights issue. I also visited North Korea and met with the top leaders for dialogue. As we have learned, the process of division, the path of peaceful reunification is almost impossible without the cooperation of the 4 major powers surrounding the Korean Peninsula, namely the United States, Russia, China, and Japan. That's why I think the 6-party talks, including 2 Koreas, should start again. Once again, I would like to extend my appreciation to each session speakers and panelists. I'm sure that we will gain great insight and wisdom from each other through the global forum. Thank you very much. Reverend Oliver, you are immersed.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Dr. Young, for your great remarks that you presented today, opening remarks. Our next remarks will be presented by Mr. Tom P. McDevitt, who is the chairman of the Washington Times and the company board of directors. He has been with the news media company since 1994. In 2019, Dr. Akshahan Moon appointed him as chairman of the H.J. Manolia U.S. Holdings, a corporate group. He also serves as the vice chairman of the H.J. Manolia Global Foundation, which includes 5 U.S. companies, along with 13 firms in Korea and 28 companies in Japan. Mr. McDevitt also serves as the global coordinator of the International Media Association for Peace, IMAP, and the International Association of Peace and Economic Development, IAED, both new global projects of UPF International. Let us warmly welcome Mr. McDevitt.
Thank you so much, Reverend Oliver. It's great to see you and Dr. Jenkins, Dr. Yang, soon Dr. Shin, and all of the UPF USA family, along with everyone around the world that's tuning in. Happy New Year. It's the Lunar New Year, and we're still in Korea here on the 1st of February. We're a little bit ahead of you. So it's the year of the Black Tiger. And I couldn't think of a more important thing to do today, the very first day of this Lunar New Year, than be with you. And this session is going to open up a graduate seminar in a variety of facets and disciplines on this issue of the Korea Peninsula, which many of us on this program believe to be the linchpin that'll cause global change. So I commend all of you for tuning in today, and please pay attention of the speakers coming forward. I'm just so impressed, Dr. Jenkins, with what you and your team have done. The same kind of programs happening in Asia, with all the countries in the Pacific Rim, as well as in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So you have 3 waves of programs like this happening with tens of thousands of people tuning in. What an amazing movement this is emerging, that Dr. Moon has launched. And I think, as I recall back in February of 2020, when 6,000 people were gathered in Seoul, soon on February 11, 12, and 13, we'll have a similar World Summit, but it's going to be virtual. And we've had to climb such an icy mountain of obstacles to put this together. But what movement, what group of people have the will and the heart and the ingenuity to pull these kinds of things off? People like Vice President Mike Pence and Secretary Pompeo and the Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, the Prime Minister of Cambodia, Hun Sen. Those are the co-sponsors of the World Summit to come. And this series is part of that. Experiential learning is critical. I wish we could all be together. My good friend, Dr. Marcus Carr, who I saw on the call, head of our Magnolia, president of Magnolia in the US, did a doctoral thesis on experiential learning. So I encourage you in closing, as we begin the new year together, today, over the next 3 days, moving up to the 11th, 12th, and 13th, we can make a difference around the world. We can have a different kind of experience online, but also embrace and learn so much together. Let's make this network fire up and move like a laser of love to make a change in Korea. Thank you, Dr. Oliver. God bless all of you, and Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. McDevitt. That was very profound opening remarks. Last but not least, I would like to present Reverend Dongmo Shin. In accordance with the UPS founder's direction, since 1997, he has led the North and South Korea Reunification movement by conducting seminars on college campuses, youth forums from both North and South Korea as president of the World CARP Korea. CARP stands for the Collegiate Association for the Research of Principles. In the US, he has conducted a unification movement of the Korean Peninsula centered on North America and Korean community. He is currently Continental Director of the Latin America and Caribbean of the UPF and Family Federation for World Peace and Unification. Now he is serving as a chairman of UPF South American since 2017. Without any further ado, let us welcome Reverend Dongmo Shin.
Thank you, Oliver. Distinguished global leaders, Ambassador for Peace, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to express my deep gratitude to each one of you for participating in this Think Tank 2022 Global Forum under the theme Toward Peaceful Reunification of the Korean Peninsula and the World Peace. It is a very timely meeting as the last year marks the 30th anniversary of the historic visit of Reverend Moon and his wife, Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon, to North Korea when Kim Il-sung was still alive. Reverend Moon made countless efforts throughout his life, offering a proposal that transcends materialism and the logic of confrontation, called head-wing or Godism. The Bible teaches us to love the enemy. With this heart, Reverend Moon led the Causa movement in South America to overcome atheism and materialism, not through hatred, but through true love. True love is loving, giving, and forgetting. The founders of UPF have practiced this teaching throughout their life and visited North Korea to offer the North Korean people their proposal of Godism, a vision that reaffirms our spiritual essence and focuses on universal values for the resolution of problems and conflicts. That is why we celebrate the spirit and practice of this true love by working tirelessly for a peaceful, unified Korea and world. I thank the leaders, Ambassador for Peace, and those who do the impossible to serve and work in each country according to the wishes of the founders of UPF, even in situations as difficult as the ones we live in today, with little freedom of action due to the COVID. When countless people die in many countries, not only because of the pandemic, but also from hunger and pain as a result of conflict and struggles between peoples, races, and religions. I hope that this forum will be an opportunity for all participants to discover new vision and hope. I thank all the presenters, panels, and the participants from the different regions and countries for their contribution on the theme of the reunification of Korean Peninsula as a base for world peace. Lastly, I would like to thank you all for listening. Muchas gracias. 감사합니다.
Kamsahamnida, muchas gracias. Thank you, Reverend Shin, for your opening remarks as well. As we conclude, we would like to show you an opening, a video of the upcoming World Summit 22. It's a promotional video.
World Summit 2022 is coming.
I am honored to support the vital mission of UPF and join you in the great cause of building a more peaceful and prosperous world.
Join eminent world leaders for 3 days of seeking real solutions to the world's most pressing problems.
So many of you come together to lay down the swords and to talk about peace.
I thank the UPF and Dr. Moon for giving the opportunity for us to talk about this from many different backgrounds and different nations, members of Congress, business, media, and academia.
Think Tank Forums, the 5th Sunhat Peace Prize Awards, and the Summit for Peace on the Korean Peninsula hosted by the Mother of Peace, Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon.
My special thanks to Dr. Moon's selfless efforts for lasting global peace.
Because of your courage, we are seeing revolutionary opportunity around the world for peace and unity.
Don't miss this great opportunity to be part of a global peace movement.
I urge you to keep working, keep striving, keep believing, and never give up.
Thank you very much. I want to again thank everyone for their profound and warm opening remarks, and we look forward to the next upcoming sessions. Thank you, and God bless.